A baby attacked before he was even born. A divine rescue inside the womb. And a king blessed by Lord Krishna himself. Yet, destined to die from a single snake bite. How could someone be protected by Lord Krishna meet such an end? This is the extraordinary story of King Parikshit. Long before Parikshit became a great king, his life had already become a miracle. His father was the mighty warrior Abhimanyu, whose courage on the battlefield is remembered even today. But Abhimanyu never lived to see his son. He fell during the great Kurukshetra war, leaving his wife Uttara carrying the unborn child. The war had ended, but its hatred had not. Blinded by grief and anger, Ashwatthama unleashed the terrifying Brahmastra, not against an army, but against the innocent child still growing inside Uttara's womb. It was an act meant to erase the entire Pandava lineage forever. With nowhere else to turn, Uttara ran to Lord Krishna. She cried, "Protect my child, you alone can save him." Krishna answered immediately. In a radiant divine form, he entered the womb itself, shielding the unborn child from the devastating weapon. The Brahmastra, capable of destroying worlds, became powerless before Krishna's divine protection. The child survived. That child was Parikshit. As Parikshit grew older, people noticed something unusual. Whenever he met someone new, he looked at them with great attention, almost as though he were searching for someone. He was searching for the beautiful, radiant being who had saved his life before he was born. Because he constantly examined everyone he met, he was named Parikshit, meaning the one who examines or the seeker. Years passed. The Pandavas eventually renounced the kingdom and began their final journey towards the Himalayas. Before leaving, they placed the kingdom in the hands of young Parikshit. He proved himself to be exactly the kind of ruler they had hoped for. Wise, compassionate, and honest. Under his rule, the kingdom prospered, justice prevailed, and the people lived in peace. But even the greatest kings are not free from human weakness. One day, while hunting deep in the forest, Parikshit chased a deer for hours. Exhausted by the scorching sun, thirsty and hungry, he came upon the hermitage of sage Shamika. The sage sat completely absorbed in meditation. Parikshit respectfully greeted him and asked for water. There was no response. The sage had not ignored the king, he simply had not heard him. But in that single moment, exhaustion overcame wisdom. For the first time in his life, anger ruled the mind of the righteous king. Seeing a dead snake lying nearby, Parikshit lifted it with the tip of his bow and placed it around Sage's neck before walking away. It was a small act, but it would change history. Soon after, the sage's young son, Shringi, returned home. When he saw the dead snake hanging around his father's neck, anger consumed him. Without asking what had happened, without hearing the king's side, he pronounced a terrible curse. Within 7 days, King Parikshit shall die from the bite of Takshaka, the king of serpents. When sage Shamika awoke and learned what had happened, he was deeply saddened. He knew the king had acted wrongly, but he also knew that a single mistake should not erase a lifetime of righteousness. Regretting his son's anger, the sage immediately sent word to warn the king. When Parikshit heard of the curse, he did something remarkable. He did not seek revenge. He did not try to escape death. He did not blame anyone. Instead, he looked inward. He accepted that even a good person can fall when anger clouds their mind. Realizing that every action carries the consequences, he handed his kingdom to his son, Janamejaya, and prepared for the final 7 days of his life. Sitting on the sacred banks of the river Ganga, King Parikshit welcomed the great sage Sukadeva. For 7 days and 7 nights, Sukadeva narrated the divine glories of Lord Krishna, the nature of life, the purpose of the soul, and the path to liberation. Sages from the Bharat gathered to witness this extraordinary moment. The king who had once ruled an empire now sought only wisdom. On the 7th day, Takshaka finally arrived. According to tradition, he concealed himself into a fruit that had been brought to the king. When the moment came, the mighty serpent emerged, struck Parikshit, and the curse was fulfilled. The king left his mortal body exactly as foretold. Yet, this is not why history remembers him. King Parikshit is remembered because he was protected by Krishna before birth, because he ruled with justice, because he accepted responsibility for his mistake, and because he spent his final days seeking truth instead of fearing death. His story reminds us that even the noblest people can make mistakes when anger takes control. But true greatness is not found in never failing. It is found in accepting our faults, learning from them, and turning towards wisdom and faith.